Welcome the cast to the table, please. We'll start at the far away end, Mr. Chris Hemsworth, Nick Frost, Rob Brydon, Emily Blunt, and Alexandra Roach.
I can't even remember where I am now. Am I next to you?
Alex is here. Then we've got Emily. Then Rob, Nick, and Chris.
How are you?
Good. How is everyone?
Yeah, good.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry.
Hello.
It's an awkward arrival at a dinner party. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
I'm going to start off, if that's okay, then we'll open it up to the floor. And Chris, I'm going to start at the far away end, if that's okay.
Sure.
There's a wonderful tone to this film.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of lovely sort of air of comedy to it. Is that how important is that for you in terms of this type of film?
Yeah, very important. It was something when we talked about doing this film and doing the spin-off of the first one, that was one of my concerns, or one of my focuses, was to just have it be lighter in tone and a greater sense of adventure and up the humour. And even in the early drafts we got in, it was headed in that direction, and then we all kind of did our bit to alter it, and you guys especially kind of added quite a few jokes in and humour and fun. And I think it's great. It helps ground the fantastical elements of it all, you know, and I know as an audience, when I'm watching any sort of big epic fantasy, a bit of humour helps me kind of buy into it even more. So
You've got a couple of pretty funny guys as well next to you.
they're not bad,
that
not that fun.
But did you base them on any particular? Okay.
I based it around the character that I played in the first film.
I hadn't finished my question. I was going to ask if you based it on any comedy duo, in terms of, you know, the pair of you play off each other so well in this.
No, we've known each other for a while, and we like hanging out a bit and just.
Yeah.
Do you like each other?
We do like each other, and it is possible. It's possible, yeah.
Rob, how much were you allowed to kind of be involved in the script and in that kind of banter that your characters have with each other?
Not in the script stage at all, but it obviously.
I've got my notes.
No, that doesn't happen. But certainly on set, very much Cedric was very open to ideas and add-ons, and there are several moments in the film that was stuff that we just came up with that he liked and he went with. So in that sense, it was lovely, because you know you could do the script, but if you had an idea for a little flourish or a beat that you thought would help with this lightness that Chris is talking about, you could put it in.
How close did you get to nailing Chris in terms of impressions as well?
I would never be so.
You did a few. The DVD, behind the scenes, the extras and DVD, I think there's a couple of Rob versions of me.
We had this thing going called Dear Diary. I had this thing where I'd work with someone, and he used to say a thing, if something happened in rehearsal, he'd say, Dear Diary, a strange moment this morning when such and such. And Chris seemed to latch on to that. So
I butchered it, yeah. It was much funnier when you did it. But.
Well, no, he would constantly be saying, Dear Diary.
Dear Diary.
I think the other thing that made us laugh a lot is wanting to go home immediately we came onto set. So we'd kind of set up the shot, and then I'd always say to Chris, all right, well, that is the shape of it. Let's leave it there, and we will hit it hard on Monday. But it was Monday. You know.
Emily, with Freya, we never really get to know much backstory to villains, you know, in terms of why they are the way they are. But with Freya, it's very different. Did that kind of give you more scope in how you play her and how you kind of bring her alive?
Yeah, that was the appeal for me, was that you see the origin of the character as a very normal girl with sort of normal hopes and desires for life, and she's perfectly happy not discovering this power that seems to be a hereditary thing in her family, and she just wants to get married and have a child, and then suffers this great loss, and through that she becomes hardened, and hair turns white, as it does. Just skin turns white, and she becomes this ice queen who just wants to kidnap children and strip love out of their lives, with good intentions, obviously, to protect them from the future heartbreak. But so yeah, this is where Chris comes in. He is one of my children. I play his mummy in this, right?
Yes, Mum.
And Alex, there's this wonderful kind of camaraderie between yourself and Sheridan's character and these two, and it's just instant chemistry between you all. Was there much kind of prep before you started shooting with the four of you in those characters?
Yeah, there was a lot of prep. We did actually 3 weeks of what we call Dwarf school,
Okay.
which involved the four of us getting to know each other with our doubles, all having movement training, and then going off behind Shepperton. There's a woods there, and our movement trainer would take us out, and we'd be in a row, all trying to do this dwarf waddle. I mean, that was kind of bonding experience.
I'd already, for the first film, I'd
Mastered it.
already gone through Dwarf College, so
You'd graduated.
I did like an hour every Tuesday night, and that was it.
Scared for those people who just came across you in the woods as well. That must have been
It's actually
terrifying.
harder than it looks, and it's very painful on your knees. I got to the point where I actually quit dwarf school.
Drop out.
I did. I said, I had enough of this. I can't, because my knees were about to collapse. Because you even slightly changing your gait, ever so slightly, Emily, a slight change, and I hope you never have to go through this, but when you change your gait a little bit, well, you know this, Edith.
Always on my
it's-
knees.
It wrecks your legs. But it did mean that we got to know each other, and we got to bond a
Bonding.
bit, yeah.
It's important. Who would like to ask the first question from our audience? Lady there. There's a microphone, please.
Thank you so much. Hiya, Ellie Jones for Film and TV Now. Questions towards Emily, really. You're killing it with these strong female roles. You seem to pick ones that are really new and exciting. Is that a conscious effort from you, or is it a happy coincidence with what you're finding?
I do obviously try and pick characters that are empowered in some way and complicated and hard to pin down. I mean, I don't want to be pigeonholed as one thing, and this character for me was actually, in a way quite vulnerable, and emotionally a bit unhinged as a villain, and that was really appealing. But I do feel there's a new wave of, I think there's a steady increase of better roles for women out there. You do have to sort of search through the deluge of crap roles for women, like the damsel in distress tied to a tree. But I think that there is a wave coming of better roles. I don't think it's a tsunami. I think it's like a gentle, steady growth. It's just about maintaining it now. So I think I am aware of what I'm sort of putting out there to the world now, and I want to be challenged. So I don't want to just repeat myself, and I don't want to play just one thing.
Aren't you about to play a character called Tsunami?
It's actually a great name.
That's actually a good name, yeah.
You
For
can
a
have that.
superhero.
Oh,
Part of the Avengers.
tsunami.
Next question, please, from our audience.
Yeah, just then.
He's quick, isn't he? He's quick.
Any from the gentleman there? There we go.
Another question for Emily.
Sorry, guys.
This is awkward.
We'll get to the rest of you later.
Chip off.
Dear Diary.
Dude, very awkward.
Obviously, a lot of people have already been making comparisons between your character and Elsa from Frozen.
It's just because we've both got white hair.
I know, and you both have ice powers, etc. But
It's
was
true.
that ever a reference?
It's true, there's that as well. We both live in ice palaces, and it's true.
Was that ever a reference point for you when you were kind of forming the character?
I watched Frozen 100 times. I'm very disappointed there's not a song in this film. It was not really a reference point. It was actually a cause of like, oh God, I'm going to be asked a lot of Frozen questions.
Sorry for being the first one.
How boring that you went there.
Wait for Huntsman, Winter's War, the musical.
Exactly.
That's what we're waiting for. Next question. Gentleman at the back there, for a microphone, please.
Sorry, I noticed that the basis of the film was sort of moved away from the myth of Snow White this time to something quite new. If, as you hope, the film's successful, would you like, perhaps in a third film, for Snow White to return? To Chris.
Yeah, I mean, when we did the first film, we were talking about the potential of this film. We're talking about a Huntsman spin-off. We're talking about a Snow White sequel. And look, if there's an audience for either or both, then fantastic, And I think that was the goal here, to do something, as you said, different. And then whether we segue back into, more directly into that world, who knows? But
Would you like Kristen Stewart to perhaps return as Snow White again?
yeah, she was fantastic. We had a great film, and she helped set up what we're doing now. So I'd love to work with her again. And if we have the opportunity to pick up that story again. I think there's a lot of room for creative, different versions of what we've already done. So.
Next question. Lady at the front here, please. Very slow with your hand movements, everyone. It's very graceful.
Hannah from Maximum Park. This question's for Chris. Do you think that you should have had more topless scenes?
Yes, they all got cut out actually. Because my hideous scars and things. Beaten.
And how long did it take you to master the accent?
Well, I had a dialect coach in the first film and on this film that we sort of worked extensively with, and we were just wanted to create a difference in his tone and the musicality of his accent as opposed to everybody else. And the Scottish accent just has such a fun sort of rhythm and bounce to it, You give me a few lessons too, it'd be nice, Rob is kind of a master of accents.
He is Welsh.
Yes.
But he has.
No, I thought Chris's
accent
accent's fantastic, I thought it was so consistent and real. I was very impressed.
You're really good at accents, Chris.
Yeah, you really is.
Especially the Australian one.
Do you find that an intimidating part of it in any way? Because you might have to get into a state of mind where it's second nature, I guess. When you're not thinking about it.
Yeah, you just have to become kind of obsessive about it, and it doesn't always work, but you just kind of keep hammering away at it, and it's tough kind of slipping in and out of it. I think, especially when we start kind of bantering on set, and then you've got to action. You've got to kind of hold yourself back sometimes, and I had a lot of tapes I'd listen to, and as I said, a great dialect coach, Richard.
Sean Connery's a great
Sean Connery, yeah.
Was that who you listened to?
No.
No.
It's too much of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey